To look at these latest judgments, we're joined by Godswill Jumbo, a political commentator. He joins us from Rivers State. Good to have you on Nigeria tonight. What were the key legal or procedural grounds upon which the appeal court in Lagos affirmed Fubara's election as governor? And how did these factors contribute to the dismissal of Tonye Cole's petition challenging the election results?
Okay, it's my pleasure being on your program again. And like you said, I was the Chief Press Secretary to the past Deputy Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Tele Ikuru. And then I'm currently the publisher of Christina Reports. And then we have also been adding our voice to what the issues are in the polity, trying to give perspective to what's going on across the country and helping people to understand. Now, the appeal courts looked at the issues raised, the issue of the non-qualification of the Rivers State governor ab initio, as in pre the election, and then also looked at the conduct of the election proper. Now, the APC, raised the issue of the governor signing documents after his nomination and several other issues. And then the Labour Party and the other parties were also looking at the conduct of the election. Now, for its own reasons, the appeal court maybe felt vis-a-vis the provisions of the law, those are not issues that matter now, and dismiss the appeals, and then leaving the only option now, which is the Supreme Court, to decide the fate of the governor vis-a-vis his contenders. But let me make a very quick point here, which I think most Nigerians already know, but let me buttress it. The thing is, beyond the tribunal, it is no more the issue of law, the issue of what is justiciable or not. It is politics. It is politics that plays out at the appeal court, at the Supreme Court, because at that point now, the bigger picture is looked at. What will be the implication of annulling or endorsing whatever decision the tribunal has made? It is the place of the tribunal to look at, the basics, to look at the details, to look at the core issues raised in the petitions. But beyond that point, it is all politics. So when they look at it,
please, could you explain that a little further? When you say the court ruling is all politics, are you referring to the deliberations that take place before decisions are made, or you're talking about the decision itself being political by the courts?
Yes. When the appellate courts look at the pillars upon which the tribunal makes its decision, and then it also looks at the political aspects. What will annulling or endorsing the position of the tribunal have? What impact will it have on the polity as a whole? And we have seen this happen over the years. So at the point of the appeal court, at the point of the Supreme Court, the bigger issues, you see that played out in the case of the president. Everybody expected the appeal court to, overturn.
Okay, I mean, you're a public commentator and you hold this position. If you feel that the decisions of the courts are no longer based on the laws, so what would be the implication of that? Because we heard in that report, Tonye saying he's most likely going to the Supreme Court to seek a better interpretation for him. What is the implication of these decisions, if you say that they are political, on the electoral process, not only in Rivers State, but across Nigeria?
The implications are looking at us in the face. Increasingly, people are losing interest are losing faith, in what the courts will decide, especially at the appellate level. Ordinarily, the appellate courts, both the appeal court and the Supreme Court, are supposed to, knowing that whatever decision they take at that level, will become empirical, will become, precedents that would have been set. So ordinarily, they're supposed to look at what is the position of the law and, review what the tribunal has, the position the tribunal has taken, looking at the points of law. But in this case now, they look at the points of law, they look at the implications of the polity, and sometimes the implications of the polity, have a greater weight over the position of the law.
Well, that's another thing that's a bit conflicting for me, Godswill.
Allow me to learn.
Okay.
As much as the points of the law are clear, you understand. But sometimes, if you are to rule on the points of law, what are the implications? For instance, you see what is happening in Rivers State. A politician and his godfather are at loggerheads. So what if they are considering, if we go this direction, what will be the implication? If we go this other direction, what will be the implication? And so maybe they look at it. For peace to reign in Rivers State, okay, let the governor stay. But if you look at the issues that are raised, they are germane. They are very much germane. But
I mean, if you hold this position, again, I have to ask you, for the sake of people that are watching you and opinions being formed, if you say that the decision might end up being political at the end of the day, what results, not to put words in your mouth now, but you won't be expecting any surprise from the Supreme Court if this does go further, will you?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Supreme Court goes the way of the appeal court. I wouldn't be surprised, because the Rivers State is at, is on a pendulum as it is. So will the Supreme Court or the appeal court want to make a ruling that will upstage, the little stability in the state? Is that what they want to do? They may not be misinterpreting the law. They may not be judging wrongly. They may not be deciding, outside the provisions of the law, but they will find around the law, play around the law, to be able to come up with a decision that will entrench, that will, continue to sustain the stability in Rivers State. And this also plays out in different other states. And we've seen them year after year that we've had elections where the case is clear that this person did not win the election properly. The process of this person emerging as candidate has issues. But, when you look at all the other issues in play, in the case of Rivers State, we look at Tonye, we look at Beatrice Itubo, we look at Siminala in Fubara, and we look at all the issues now that the FCT minister is at loggerheads with the governor, and you look at all of that. So what is that decision that you will take that will keep Rivers State calm without upstaging the little piece that is? I think that's why the judiciary at that level is taking responsibility for stability in the polity.
I mean, Godswill, your position is quite controversial.
Let me land. In the case of the president, the considerations we made with the hulabalu, with or how will I put it now, with the frenzy, surrounding the outcome of the election. The judiciary looked at it. Which one is better?
I think you've made this point severally tonight. Thank you very much, Godswill. I'm sorry I have to interrupt you. We're out of time. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts and your time with us. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much.